We've been talking about the changes in the FICO model, and now they're using FICO 10 and 10T. But let's really talk about the impact it has on your scores. And so with this, we want to break it down into three categories. We're going to talk about impact in regards to delinquencies, on credit cards, and on personal loans. Generally, when something is 30 days past due, that's when credit bureaus actually start listing things negatively on your credit report. So it's very important that you make sure of that, because if you have 30-day, 60-day, or 90-day lates, then that's really going to hurt your score. But in the new FICO 10 scoring model, it's going to severely hurt your score, because with the FICO Score 10 suite, the impact of late payments is more pronounced than the older FICO score versions. So consumers who miss payments are likely to experience a more severe drop in their credit score than previous scoring models. So the best way to avoid a severe drop in scores is, of course, to pay your bills on time. In the previous module, we talked about paying your bills on time is 35% of your score, but now it's going to have more of an effect in this new model. Now, one suggestion that you could make is setting up an auto pay. By setting up an auto pay to send minimum payments ahead of due date, this will help your scores stay in decent shape. So we're not talking about just paying the minimum, we're talking about paying the minimum early. Because if you can do that, that can kind of keep you in the game, but you really want to watch your delinquencies. Now, how does this affect your credit card? Or how is credit card debt affected? Now, this is an important metric that credit scoring systems consider, is the amount of credit card balances versus credit card limit. We talked about this in another module. We talked about it as far as your credit utilization. 30% of that is based upon that. And so if you have a card limit that has $10,000 and you owe $5,000, well, it's 50% utilization. Now, if you saw somebody like a Coach Moore or any professional, they would try to tell you pay that down so you can get to at least $3,000, because that puts you at 30%. But lowering the percentage is the better for all credit scores. Credit utilization has long been a component of the credit scoring modules. It's a little bit more impact and pronounced in this scoring system in FICO 10. So really just have to look at these two things, because I think I showed you in a previous module what are the two areas of credit they're looking at and really putting an emphasis on. Paying your bills on time and your utilization ratio. Now, here's been some techniques that people have used in regards to personal loans. Debt consolidation can be a smart financial move. So this really can be a technique, but you have to really use it wisely and not take advantage of it. This requires discipline. This is because interest rates on personal loans are usually smaller than credit cards. It can be a smart personal score improvement strategy by converting revolving credit card debt into an installment loan. This will help your scores go up. This is, of course, you're assuming that you're paying off the installment loan. I have seen people do debt consolidation, pay off for credit cards, but then they make one critical error. See, under the FICO 10 consolidation could still be a good idea, especially trying to eliminate expensive credit card debt. But there's one exception. That is that if you've actually paid off all the credit cards, but then you start using the credit cards, because when you're doing that, you just now really going against the whole process. Why did you get the personal loan to pay for credit cards if you're going to start making high balances on your credit cards? This will really have a severe drop under the FICO 10 model, so you really want to just be aware of that. Now, if you already have good credit score at FICO 10, then the great news is for you. If you've been paying your bills in a timely or early and in full, you're going to have a great credit score. But the whole thing is that if you haven't, then you're going to have the opposite effect. Let's go on to the next module.